humid and hot,
Don't
and
care for it.
it's a little disgusting. I don't like it.
It's yucky outside.
I know.
We do have some cold fronts in the forecast, just not really for this week. We'll finally start to see a pattern shift. I actually squeezed out a few showers around the area. It was really nothing more than just kind of a light drizzle for many of us, a few pockets of some isolated showers, but for the most part, it is done with now. Most of that rainfall kind of moving on, and what we did see was relatively light. We actually have a little bit of clearing of the skies looking out over downtown right now, so a little peek of some sun just before it sets. 70 degrees, high humidity. Humidity right now is at 97% with a dew point of 69 degrees, winds out of the south-southeast at 6 miles an hour. Today's high 76 degrees, and in terms of rain, we were able to squeeze out 0.04 of an inch. So not much, but it's something. That's so far the total for the month. It has been fairly dry, but very humid. Our temperatures this morning, we start out warm, we get warm, and we stay warm with overnight lows about the same into the 60s over the next several days. 60s, low 70s outside at the moment, and really no changes anytime soon as far as our morning lows go or the fog issues at night in the mornings. The highs, though, will be increasing over the coming days. We've got a southerly wind outside at the moment, and that is going to persist through the rest of the week. Here's what's going on. We are starting to see an upper high develop down to our south. What that is going to start doing is building in over us. That will lead to a warming trend and high temperatures maybe as soon as tomorrow, getting to about 80 degrees, and then lower 80s for Wednesday and Thursday before we do see kind of an upper trough help to suppress that high and maybe try and push through a very weak front toward the weekend. The colder air is going to stay bottled a little bit farther to our north, at least through this week. As we head toward the end of the weekend, we should start to see some of that cooler, maybe we'll call it milder air, making its way south. As this front, once again, we don't really have very strong upper support to push it on through, and we'll start warming right back up, or at least staying on the warmer side into the weekend and early next week. But by next week, next Tuesday, it does look like we may see a stronger cold front moving on through. Quite a bit of rainfall up to our north, but we generally have a west to east flow aloft, so none of that rainfall is headed south. So all we are expecting to see is maybe an isolated sprinkle or two. I got to set about a 10% chance tomorrow, or tonight and tomorrow, and we could even introduce a 10% shot at a little passing sprinkle here and there on Wednesday, but it doesn't look like much. And I think with that upper high really starting to build in, our rain chances, even as slim as they are going to be next to nothing as we head into the rest of this week. Our high resolution model kind of saying the same thing for maybe a little passing sprinkle here and there, kind of embedded within that fog. But as I said, might see a slight drop in temperature for the weekend, although these highs are still well above our average. Note where the temperatures are expected to get by Tuesday. I do think we are going to see a stronger front moving on through. And this is the extended temperature outlook. So this is kind of going beyond our 7-day forecast toward as we get closer to Christmas. And the models are calling for us to begin a cooling trend. Here's that front I was talking about that does look a little bit stronger. By Monday, about a 30% chance for some showers. May see some stronger storms next Monday night, early Tuesday morning, and we finally get a real cold front to move on through. And that may be the start of a trend as we go toward the second half of December. The upper pattern should begin to shift, and where the colder air has been staying out to our west lately, we may start to see that coming more toward the central and eastern half of the nation, including the deep south. So hopefully we will see that trend, and right on time for maybe a cold Christmas if we can time it out right. Next couple of days, that ain't happening. 79 to 81 degrees over the next few afternoons. Again, that weak front, if it's able to move through, we might squeeze out a slightly drier air mass with milder temperatures, and then the stronger front looks to move through next Monday night.